They were disturbing items.
There's a few things that were just like, will blow your mind. There could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her, and it's scary, sadistic stuff.
I'm certain I know who it is. I can't say, but there is surveillance from, the 29th, and I'm certain I know who this person is.
Private investigator told me tonight that he actually has video evidence of the last person driving that Tesla. He says he has supplied it to the LAPD. He also told me tonight an arrest in the case could be coming very soon.
Something dark just came to light, and it could change everything. According to private investigator Steve Fisher, there are now 7 major new updates and hard evidence that might blow this whole case wide open. Now, let's be clear. Fisher ain't just some random internet detective trying to chase clout. He was officially hired by the homeowner of the rental property where David had been staying right before everything fell apart, and in his latest report, he dropped a bombshell, saying he's got surveillance footage showing exactly who drove that Tesla last.
Investigator claims he's uncovered crucial new evidence in the haunting case of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the girl found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to rising music star David. And that new evidence, he claims, includes who was the last one driving the Tesla where the teen's body was ultimately discovered.
Yeah, that same Tesla where the young woman's body was later found. For months, that's been the biggest mystery. Who was actually behind the wheel? Sure, the car was registered to David, but nobody really knew who left it abandoned like that. Well, Fisher says he's cracked it. He claims to have video proof of the last person to touch that car, and it's not who people expected. Even crazier, Fisher didn't just keep it to himself, he's already handed the footage over to the LAPD. According to him, the recording came from neighborhood security cameras near the spot where the Tesla was dumped.
Interesting video from neighborhood security cameras that he's handed over to LAPD. He says he knows who was driving the car when it was abandoned in late July, presumably with the body in the trunk.
I'm certain I know who it is. I can't say, but there is surveillance from, the 29th, and I'm certain I know who this person.
The clip reportedly shows the car pulling up late at night on July 29th and someone stepping out wearing distinctive clothing. He's not dropping names just yet, but Steve Fisher says he's absolutely certain who that person is, and even more chilling, he's certain the body was already inside the Tesla when it was parked. That means whoever left that car there knew exactly what they were walking away from. That's not just suspicious, that's cold-blooded. Fisher confirmed the LAPD already has the footage, but here's the twist. No arrests have been made so far. Why? Because the police are still waiting on toxicology results and final forensic reports, but make no mistake, the tension behind the scenes is heating up fast. Everyone knows something's coming, it's just a matter of when. Even Fisher himself hinted that an arrest could be imminent, and when an investigator goes on camera saying that it's not small talk, it's a warning shot straight at whoever's involved.
Is building.
Private investigator told me tonight that he actually has video evidence of the last person driving that Tesla. He says he has supplied it to the LAPD. He also told me tonight an arrest in the case could be coming.
But what came next? That's what's keeping people up at night. Because Fisher didn't just stop after reviewing footage, he actually went inside the property David had been renting. And what he claims to have found inside there is beyond disturbing. He described it as sadistic, unreal, and not something any normal person should ever see. He wouldn't spill every detail publicly, probably for legal reasons, but what he did say was enough to make anyone's stomach turn. Fisher said he discovered items that could be used to get rid of a person if someone really wanted to. And he emphasized that these weren't just basic tools or cleaning supplies. He said it's beyond tools, calling them sadistic stuff. The police did search the property with a warrant, but here's where things start getting real strange. For reasons nobody can explain, they didn't take certain items with them. They only photographed them. Like, why would you leave that kind of evidence behind when it could change the entire case?
Disturbing items.
He found items that could be linked to the crime, items left behind by LAPD even after a search of the property.
There's some items, some physical items that I unfortunately can't disclose, but they are significant because they could be something that could have been used in a plan to actually get rid of her body.
Now here's where things take a turn straight out of a horror movie, except this might not be fiction at all. Online, people have been whispering about acid, and no, it's not just wild internet gossip this time. Fisher never revealed the exact materials he found, but when reporters pressed him on what he meant by items used to dispose of a person, he dropped one chilling hint. He said there were heavy-duty trash bags, strong cleaning agents, and chemical products that had absolutely no reason to be there. Those few words lit up the internet like wildfire. Because let's be honest, when investigators talk about chemical products in a case like this, they're not talking about your everyday bleach or detergent.
Some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her, and it's scary, sadistic stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot at the time, and things just, their timing was just off as far as getting this done. But there's a few things that were just like, will blow your mind.
It means something way more corrosive, way more final. Some online sources have even started suggesting these could have been industrial acids, the kind used to dissolve organic matter. Just thinking about that sends chills down your spine. But here's the craziest part. The LAPD apparently photographed those items, yet never seized them. And that's exactly what's driving everyone insane right now. And just when you think this story couldn't get any darker, it does. Because right after Fisher's findings started making noise online, people began noticing something weird happening around the property itself. Locals say unmarked cars have been driving by at night, stopping briefly, then disappearing. Some even claim the lights inside the house flickered on days after investigators had already cleared the scene. Fisher later confirmed he'd heard the same reports, and he didn't brush them off. He believes someone's been back there, maybe even trying to retrieve or destroy evidence. That's when he went public, saying in an interview, if they think this case is closed, they're wrong. It's just getting started.
Silent he's been for somebody that really lived online, and not only him, but the people around him and his immediate orbit, they've gone completely silent.
Meanwhile, on social media, people are connecting dots that the LAPD hasn't publicly acknowledged yet. A few users pointed out that David's friends and collaborators suddenly locked their accounts or deleted photos that could tie them to the night of July 29th. The timing? Way too convenient. Then came the next shocker. A source close to Fisher claimed he's preparing to release still images from the footage, showing the figure exiting the Tesla. He won't reveal the face yet, but apparently the clothing matches something already seen in David's old posts. If that's true, it's going to explode online once those frames drop. And it doesn't end there. Fisher said the more he digs, the more it looks like this wasn't random at all. He called it a planned cover-up that might involve more than one person. If that's the case, the LAPD could be sitting on a case way bigger than anyone first thought. Now here's where the story completely flips, because the moment people started connecting those clues online, David himself broke his silence. Out of nowhere, he jumped on social media and posted a cryptic story saying, "You only know what they want you to see." That line alone had everyone losing it. Was he hinting that someone else is pulling strings behind the scenes, or trying to get ahead of what's coming? Right after that, his lawyer issued a short statement claiming David is fully cooperating with law enforcement and has nothing to hide. But if that's true, why did he go completely silent right after posting that message?
Stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on.
There was at least one crime committed, concealing body. When might we expect an arrest in the case? The investigator believes that LAPD is waiting for those toxicology reports, which could come any day and could indicate a more serious crime.
Felt less like innocence and more like someone preparing for something big. Meanwhile, Fisher has been keeping his foot on the gas. In a new interview, he said investigators are now cross-referencing phone pings from the night the Tesla was left behind. He says there's a digital trail that connects 3 people's phones to that same location, one of them allegedly being a person close to David. That's when the internet went wild again, with theories flying everywhere. Some think the second person might have been helping him move the car, while others believe it's someone trying to frame him entirely. But here's the thing, Fisher insists this isn't just some internet rumor cycle. He says the LAPD already confirmed they've reviewed those phone records and that it's now part of the active case, meaning arrests might not just stop at one person, there could be multiple suspects. Now here's where everything gets completely turned upside down. the kind of twist nobody saw coming. Up until now, everyone believed the girl's death happened sometime in July, right around the time the Tesla was dumped. But according to Steve Fisher's new findings, that might be dead wrong. Fisher dropped what might be his biggest revelation yet. He says Celeste may have been gone since January. That's a full 6 months earlier than anyone ever imagined. If that's true, the implications are straight up terrifying. He explained that the last verified photo of Celeste was taken on January 2nd, 2025, inside one of the rental properties David was using at that time. After that, nothing. No legit sightings, no real texts, no confirmed social media posts. It's like she just vanished off the face of the earth. So here's the mind-bending part. If the Tesla wasn't abandoned until July 29th, what happened in those missing months? That means the body could have been moved, stored, or hidden somewhere for half a year. Just think about that. A missing teen, possibly gone since the middle of winter, ending up found 6 months later in a car sitting on a random street in Hollywood. At that point, it's not just negligence. It feels like someone orchestrated the whole thing. Fisher didn't say exactly where he believes the body was during that gap, but he made it clear. There were multiple locations involved. In one of Steve Fisher's most recent interviews, he dropped something subtle but explosive. He said there's no actual evidence that Celeste ever stayed at the main Hollywood Hills rental everyone's been obsessing over. That's huge, because for months, the internet's been convinced she was living there part-time with David. But according to Fisher, that entire narrative might be completely false. When he examined that house himself, Fisher said there were no personal items, no clothes, no toothbrush, no trace that Celeste had ever lived there, nothing. Not a single thing linking her physically to that property. So that raises one chilling question. Where was she really staying? Fisher believes she may have been living somewhere else entirely, in a second property connected to the same inner circle. He described it as an apartment either in downtown LA or somewhere else in Hollywood, possibly rented under someone else's name. That's the kind of setup that screams cover-up. If that turns out to be true, then this wasn't some random disappearance. This was deliberate concealment. And that explains so much, like how she suddenly went off the radar months before the Tesla was found. Yet nobody in her circle sounded the alarm right away. If she was being kept somewhere off the books, then whoever was behind it clearly didn't expect anyone to look. Now the million-dollar question, who paid for that second property? Because if those payments trace back to the same bank accounts or management circle connected to David, that could be the thread that unravels everything. Normally, when an independent investigator drops major evidence like this, the police step in fast, either to confirm it or shut it down. But this time, total radio silence. The LAPD hasn't publicly addressed a single one of Fisher's claims. Not the new footage, not the disturbing items found in the house, not even the mystery second property. All they've said is that the case is ongoing and that forensic testing is still underway. But that silence, it's got everyone talking. People online are demanding answers. Why hasn't the footage been acknowledged? Why weren't those possible disposal materials seized during the very first search? And maybe the biggest question of all, why is an outside investigator revealing more than the LAPD itself? Something about that doesn't sit right. If Fisher's telling the truth, and if his evidence really checks out, then this delay isn't about confusion. It's about control. Because let's be real, celebrity cases are political. One wrong step, one sloppy arrest, and it can all spiral into a media circus, or even worse, a mistrial. So instead of rushing in, the LAPD could be playing it safe, building an airtight case before anyone in handcuffs even hits the spotlight. But that careful silence, it's starting to backfire. Fisher said something that most people completely missed, but it might be the most damning thing he said yet. He revealed that there were items which could have been used as part of a plan to get rid of her body. Let that sink in. He didn't say panic, he said plan. That one word changes everything, because plan means this wasn't some last-minute accident. It was premeditated. Fisher's implying that whoever was behind this had everything prepared, delivered, and ready long before anything actually happened. And when you line that up with the January timeline, it fits a little too perfectly. If Celeste's death really happened months earlier and the Tesla wasn't dumped until late July, that means someone took their time. Time to clean up, hide, and move evidence like it was some kind of twisted operation. It's chilling because it suggests this wasn't chaos. It was calculated. Every new detail that surfaces just makes the story darker, and Fisher's findings keep pushing this case into territory nobody expected. This investigation is far from over, and honestly, it's only getting more disturbing with each update. When that footage finally drops, or when the LAPD decides to break their silence, this case is going to explode everywhere. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss the next big reveal. Because the second this footage hits or an arrest goes down, I'll be right here breaking it all down for you. See you in the next one.